Well, good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. And this morning, in our series on Pentecost, because this is the week that leads us up to the most powerful day in the life of the church. It is the explosion of Holy Spirit within and without the believers, as well as those that did not know what was going on that day. That celebration is this Sunday, and we've been teaching all week on this particular subject or topic, Pentecost. Yesterday, we talked about speak up. We dealt with that. Prior to that, we dealt with eyewitness and being a witness. This morning, is all about the power of unity. The power of unity. Before I do that and share that, let me just greet some people and we're going to get right into the word on this morning. Greet a couple of folk on this morning. Good morning, Erica. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Brenda. How are you on this morning? So many of you all ready to go. Got a word for you on this morning. Good morning, Angela. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Betty. Grand rising to you as well. Cynthia Shepherd, how are you on this, or Cent, I should say? How are you on this morning? Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give the text to talk and the takeaway. I need you to put the revelation you get in the chat area and share it right now. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep it to yourself. Now, if you watch E-Church last night, know that I dealt with so many of the controversies of Pentecost. This morning, I'm just pressing even further, not into the controversies, but into the whole series on Pentecost. This morning, the power of unity. The power of unity. Let me just give an overview, and then we're going to get right into it. Have you ever realized the strain and stress that happens to a family or a marriage or a relationship when they're not together? When things are divided, it requires a great deal of power of God to bring it together. When things are together, then God uses that power to have impact outside of those, using those individuals. What do you mean by that? The text is Acts 2:1, just the A portion. They were all together. They were all together. The power of unity. Now let's get into what this looks like, because most of the times the first thing I want to share with you is that we tend to think that unity has to do with uniformity. No, unity has to do with being in unison. Let me say that again. I don't have to look like you, smell like you, act like you, talk like you to be unified with you. I'm in unison with you. What do I mean by that? In my days in the military, as an Air Force chaplain, now we didn't do a whole lot of marching in the Air Force like the Army, Marines, and so on and so forth. But when we did, what you had to do was keep in step. You had to be in unison. It's similar to singing. It's similar to singing. Everybody has to be in unison. It's similar to when you go to an orchestra. At the very beginning, if you get there early, you hear all of the instruments doing what they do. But at the moment that the conductor taps his wand on the podium or the stand, they all come in unison so that they can make one sound. So don't be fooled. I don't have to look like you to be unified with you. I just have to be in unison with what God is doing, which is the second thing I want you to grab a hold of, and that is one accord. One accord. One accord means that we are in agreement, not that we are uniform or in some sense of uniformity. We are in agreement. One of the problems that really hurts the church is that we want everybody, and I came up in a Pentecostal holiness church, and I shared with you on yesterday, as well as in E-Church, that if you weren't dancing in the spirit, if you weren't doing like everybody else, then your spirituality was called into question. No, because you weren't in a uniformity of approach to your expression in God. No, I am in one accord. I agree that God is here. How I respond is how he responds through me. Okay. One accord is agreement, not uniformity. Unison is not uniformity. Here is the third thing I want you to grab a hold of. Uh, Together in one place. I want you to understand this. Notice that the text says that they were together in one place. Why does Luke make a big deal of this? Because for 10 days they have been praying the upper room. We tend to think that they were there for the whole 10-day period. Yes and no. They were in the temple, they were all around, but in that moment when the Spirit came, they were all together. Forsake not the assembling of the brethren, as some do. Now, there is a problem that we have now, and that we are slowly overcoming it, and that is people coming together again in one place. There's nothing wrong with watching television or watching your favorite church, the church that you attend. Periodically, you're watching. But if you can be there, you need to be there because you need to be together with other people. Why? Because he does something different when we are together than when we are apart. Forsake not the assembling of the brethren as some. If they were never together, you would have to question whether or not this power of God would have come. But when they were all together and have been in unison and in agreement, the power came, which is the takeaway. The takeaway is this: where two or three of us gather. Now, that's not to say that it just needs to be two or three of us. It has to do with the whole concept of the law that the Jewish people believe, that it takes two or three witnesses to bear something true. So when two or three of us are together, we bear witness to his power and his presence, and he comes in and moves in a mighty way. Hey, the Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you, give you peace. Get ready to go to church on Sunday for Pentecost Sunday. And I'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna. God bless you. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself. Bye now.